Come gather round the little childrens, as I tell you the wonderful true story of the Bible Remastered. Genesis, Part 1. Rather long time ago, a pretty cool dude was chilling in a snazzy corner of the void. The guy's name? God. So anyway, floating around in a time before time, an idea popped into God's head as he was taking a drag on a fat doobie. It'd be pretty banging if I created some shit, wouldn't it? And thus shit was created. One little ball of mud appeared out of nowhere just as God snapped his fingers. And thus was the earth formed. But God realized that he could not see shit, so he invented the light bulb, and it was pretty good. After that, God separated the waters into some firmament or some shit. Clouds wheeled overhead the waters. This was to be God's heaven, from which he would govern, but mostly just chill. Later on, God called upon his magical powers and swirled the waters into different places. And where there was no water, dry land appeared. God named these waters the seas, for which he thought was sweet as hell. Afterwards, God thought to himself that roseweed cost was too much for its cheap-ass quality. And so he said to himself, "Man, I need some place to grow this shit." While staring blankly at his art project, another idea popped into God's head. So he said, "Let there be grass and all sorts of green shit." And thus all known strains bloomed into existence, a veritable oasis of reefer. God realized that he would need some way to tell the passing of the days, so that he could have a reputable grow operation. So he snapped his fingers yet again, and two great lights shot up into the heavens above Earth. Oh, and he created all of the other stars too. Damn, he was good at this. And so God's weed was the purest and highest of operations. Deities the world over came to sample his shit. Life was good, and for a time God was content, wallowing in his mad stacks. Eventually, great boredom crept in. The mediocrity of his life became apparent, so he spoke out over the lands. "I want to see some fishes, some birds, some doggies. Let there be all manner of animals up in this shit." And so it was. But he mostly just wanted to watch them fuck. So now God had a bunch of little animals moseying around his creation. But there was still something missing. Some void that needed to be filled. So one night, God was staring at his physique in the mirror. Damn, he was sexy. And another idea crawled into his mind. "I'ma need some dude just like me to admire all this shit I done created." And so the all-powerful one grabbed a handful of dirt and formed a tiny guy with rippling muscles and flowing golden hair. Oh, and he had a kick-ass mustache too. This was Adam.